Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for having me here. When I was 20 years old, in my second year at St. Stephen's College, one day during a prestigious Delhi University inter-college tournament, my world turned upside down with one loud pop on the field. The loud pop was my left knee. My ACL, which is the anterior cruciate ligament, had torn. Along with it, it took my meniscus and my cartilage. The next thing I know was blackout level pain, being carried away to the hospital, where I was then operated upon. My hamstring from the left side was cut, and I was given a new ligament fitted with titanium screws in my knee. Suddenly, I was an athlete with a shorter ligament and a left quadricep, which is the left thigh muscle, one of the biggest muscles in our body, entirely wasted from the trauma of the surgery. The next few months brought with it immense pain, a lot of uncertainty, but I was committed to being back on the field. I was committed to regaining my strength, my flexibility, my agility, my speed, my range of motion. So rehabilitation became my core focus. It required a lot of training, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, but I made it back on the field within 6 months only. I felt proud, I felt invincible. I then even went on to play for my college at Oxford University in England. In 2008, when the world was reeling under the impact of the global financial meltdown, I started my career at UBS Investment Bank in London. The macroeconomic environment was tough. The job was great, offered great pay, accolades, fantastic learning. But because of the macroeconomic environment, I was required to do 140 hours at work in a week. The week only has 168 hours, and I was doing 140 hours at work. It was the kind of routine that ate away at any time for self-care or self-improvement. I was letting my fitness slide, but I had this thought that as an athlete, it's ingrained in my bone and flesh, so I can bounce back any day I want, anytime. So let me get a little more senior. When I have more control over my routine, over my life, I will bounce back. But that's not how life works. That's not how your body works. That's not how your organs work. That's not how your brain works. And suddenly, life had gotten ahead of me. I was 35, looking at myself in the mirror, and I realized it was too late for wishful thinking. I looked at my friends, whose bodies were moving slowly because of the years of neglect. Slightly older people were suffering doing basic tasks, simple tasks like getting up from the floor, getting up from a chair, climbing stairs were becoming arduous. And then I had a baby who looked up at me with eyes that said, "You're the strongest person in the world." I realized exercise wasn't optional anymore. I couldn't just do it when I felt like it. I couldn't dip in and dip out. Being active was necessary. The science was very clear on this. I needed it for my physical well-being, for my mental well-being, for my cognitive functioning. So then I laced up my shoes once again, but this time it was not for the glory days of competition. It was for my everyday wins. It was for me to do better in my daily life as a father, as a son, as a husband, as a brother, and as a leader. So while the field had changed, the game was still on. Hi, I'm Akshay Verma, co-founder of FITPASS, India's largest fitness membership and access program. As you would have figured by now, I'm here to inspire you to keep moving, to physically move every day. Just try and visualize an average day in your life. And you might see yourself sitting at your desk, sitting for meetings, sitting for lectures, sitting at your workplace, sitting in the car, sitting while eating your food, sitting while watching TV, and then sleeping, which is horizontal. So most part of your day, you're sedentary. And let me burst a big bubble. There is nothing known as a healthy sedentary person. Even if you think you look fit, you feel fit, but you are sitting for majority of the day We call this phenomenon the active couch potato. Prolonged sitting and prolonged periods of inactivity are impacting you and your health in more ways than you recognize. Sitting is the new smoking. It is a very bold statement. And let me give you some facts. The WHO says that 3.2 million deaths globally are attributable to inactivity. Let that sink in, 3.2 million deaths globally. Lancet Global recently published research about India. The research was about how many people in India are unable to meet the bare minimum level of physical activity prescribed by the WHO, just the bare minimum. In the year 2000, that population was 22% of India's population. In the year 2024, that has gone up to 45.4% of our population. So 50% of India's population is inactive. And please bear in mind that 50% of India is below the age of 35. We are the world's youngest population. We're the world's youngest workforce. And we are at the precipice of being plagued by preventable lifestyle diseases. Please focus on the word preventable lifestyle diseases. Preventable by what? Mostly by activity. There is a word, healthy, which we hear very commonly in business today. Investment managers will speak of a healthy portfolio. Companies will speak of a healthy market share, healthy sales, healthy targets, healthy growth, healthy EBITDA, healthy profit margins. But what is a company's biggest asset? What is a company's biggest competitive edge? It's people. And somehow, this word healthy is not being attributed to the people who drive these organizations forward. It is not being attributed to the people who will lead it into the uncertain times that tomorrow may bring. So it is the fiduciary responsibility and duty of every CEO, CFO, CHRO, whatever CXO, business leader, to ensure that they build an organization that is fitter and stronger than what they inherited. That is exactly the job the shareholders have given them to do. It is important that they train leaders who are fitter and stronger than them, better at decision making than them. If they're not doing so, they're perhaps failing in the job that the shareholders wanted them to do. And the science is very clear on this. No matter how clever you think you are, no matter how intelligent you think you are, if you are unfit, your ability to process information, to analyze information, your cognitive functioning, and your ability to make decisions are negatively impacted if you're unfit. So there is always a better version of you. As a leader, there is always a better version of you as an employee. And it is the responsibility of employees and organizations to facilitate that everyone is a better version of themselves. And I'm not just saying this. Harvard Business Review published a research report on this, that every $1 invested in an employee fitness and wellness program results in $6 worth of savings for the company. So I have a question for all the CEOs, CFOs, leaders out there. How many investment avenues do you know of that give you a 6 times return? I know the answer because I've asked so many of them already. The answer is very few or none. But there is one. Your employees, your leaders, the future for tomorrow. They are the ones who give you a 6 times return on investment. We fact-checked this. We published and developed India's first State of Fitness and Wellness in Corporate India 2023-2024 report. The statistics that we got were alarming. 52% of the millennials said that sedentary lifestyle was negatively impacting their health, contributing to increasing stress levels. And you know what? WHO claims that chronic inactivity is the primary cause of burnout and workplace stress. You see how all of this fits together? So where do we go from here? We first recognize that as the world's youngest workforce, as the world's youngest population, We have a lot of demographic dividend which is waiting to explode, to reach its true potential. As we propel ourselves to becoming a $5 trillion economy, we need to also understand the costs of inactivity. The costs are not just personal costs that we pay and our family pays. The cost is to society. The burden is on the country. Research estimates globally, trillions of dollars are lost because of inactivity. Dalberg just published research for India very recently that if Indians were to become active, we could contribute 1.5 trillion rupees annually to our GDP. 1.5 trillion rupees is 15 lakh crore. Just count the number of zeros in your head. 15 lakh crores can be added to our GDP annually. So being active not just helps you personally, but has so much impact, so much positive impact on society and on the country. So how do we do this? We've all heard of SIPs, right? Systematic investment plans. We know that SIPs work because it leverages the power of compounding. It is the same principle that is applicable for your health. If you are just 1% better every day, if you do something every day, and please remember, any activity is better than zero activity. So if you are better every day, and you do 1.01 raised to the power 365, 365 being the number of days in a year, your health would significantly improve, but a little bit of neglect. And you're looking at 0.99 raised to the power 365, your health would significantly diminish. So you need to understand that it is your body, your mind, your fitness, and your choice. So no matter what you like, just do some activity. Whether it is taking a walk, whether it is hitting the gym, whether it is going to a fitness studio, no matter how you want to be active, just do it on your own terms, when you want, how you want, where you want. There is one principle that I like, which I picked up from a book called The 4-Hour Body by Timothy Ferriss. It's called the 30-30-30 rule. It says that if you eat 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up, followed by 30 minutes of low-intensity, steady-state cardio. Low-intensity, steady-state means where you're not out of breath while you're exercising and you're still able to talk. So if you kickstart your day with the right sort of nutrition and some movement, it just puts you ahead in so many ways. You start your day with a lot more vigor, lot more sharpness, alertness, and you've gotten movement early on in the day, because I feel that as the day progresses and we get busier, sometimes it's very difficult to make the time for activity. And as a society and as human beings, we tend to neglect ourselves, our body, our mind, the maximum. We do not neglect other tasks as much. So I recommend that you get your activity done in the morning. Now, as I come to a close, I want to encourage you. I want to instill in you a curiosity to learn about the benefits that being active and exercise have on your body and your brain. And before I leave you, I want to encourage you to keep moving every day. क्योंकि हम fit तो India fit. Jai Hind and thank you.